And we're live. Are we? Are we not? A second. Hey, we are live. Nice. Alright. I guess we'll just wait for people to join. Doop, 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 doop. Alright. That's nice. Two people just joined. I don't know who they are, but I guess we can start the show. So, the Asteroid OS was just released, and well, I've already done a video on it, but this is kind of a pre-release thing when I did that. But right now it's properly released, so why not do a live stream? Um, the news is AsteroidOS 1.0 released, and they, I guess, just feel a bit more happy about releasing it because it's fairly stable and supported by a lot of devices. Now, I do have one watch that supports it, which is the Zen Watch 3, and the reason I'm not doing this review on a Zen Watch 3 is because a couple of major things are not supported, which I think I can do without sensors and audio, but doing without Bluetooth is a big thing because then you just lose connectivity with your phone, and that's like sort of the end game for a smartwatch when it cannot connect to your phone. I mean, it's been my daily driver for about a day now, and I am running it on my watch. Don't know if it would like show it to you, but yeah, I am running it on my watch, and it's been great. It's super smooth, buttery and very light. Like indeed light, not Google says it's light because we cut things down on AOSP, but AsteroidOS is made from the sort of from the ground up, and yeah, it runs super light. So the one good thing is I don't need a watch now to show it to you working properly. I can actually just as simply um, run it on QEMU and emulate it, and it's as smooth. So let's see where that was. Run on an emulator. I have everything downloaded, and of course I've tested it. But one of the good things in this release article is, do you want to run Docker on your smartwatch? I mean, why not once you're at it, right? And this actually just like, I don't know, there was this Twitter post, I did see it at one point by Rippy, but yeah, I mean, you want to run Kubernetes, be my guest. It's a nice thing to do because like once you get a GNU Linux GNU based platform on your watch, it gets pretty interesting. So let's go ahead and take a look at the emulator and see how it goes. And in the meantime, like ask me anything in the chat. Um, so if I remember correctly, I downloaded it in the AsteroidOS folder. Let's see, yep, there they are. So that's the kernel image, that's the root fs, and let's go and copy this and paste. So again, this is x86 based system, KVM or kernel level virtual hardware virtualization is enabled. um, So it does require, that's a hard requirement, the virtual virtual GPU, because it requires OpenGL properly, and if your QEMU build doesn't support this, then you like sort of need to get a new build. But for me, Fedora just supports Fedora's QEMU build. Actually comes with this feature on, because it's not about turning it on, it's like a new feature, so that's fine. Nick, yes, so this particular line right there creates a network interface, so you can SSH directly into the OS while you are running it on QEMU, so that's interesting. And let's see, displays SDL, blah blah blah. Let's run it. Wait for it. Wait for it. There we go. So that's the yeah, that's running it. That's Watch OS. How will I attempt to zoom it? Nope. Let's go. So, man, shoot. I wanted to show you guys the startup demo that they have. So we'll go through this, and by that time, let me just put QEMU build to download and a pre-built root FS. So this then becomes the second build. I can show you later what's happening. Alright, so this is your main watch face that comes default preloaded, and in the background, if you see, this is not a static wallpaper, or did they make it a static wallpaper? It was not a static wallpaper earlier, and I don't think it still is, or it just gives the illusion that it's moving. I think it should be moving. Alright, anyways, let's go ahead. Everything is based on gestures, so these tiny corners you see there, that's actually on your watch, and what you do is you just grab and pull down, and that's your like quick settings. So as you can see now, yes, it moves. It's very it very obviously moves the background there. And a brightness control, of course it wouldn't work here. I'll try to get like the camera to focus on my actual watch right now in a while, and we'll see how that works. And this is the vibration motor, and then your Bluetooth on and off. Now the fun thing is that on my watch, the battery life has been amazing. I charged it yesterday, used it the whole day, and it's at 94%. So I mean, yeah, it just dropped down to 93. Yeah, so if anyone comes to you and says Android is a very light operating system, just don't listen to them, because it's not. It's not meant to be. Anyway, so this is the notification area. Of course, if you ever get a notification, it will be there. This is your events, so you can add calendar events. They are not syncable right now, as far as I remember, but you can add them. So you can actually go here on agenda and then add your own events. So I can click here, add an event. You'll get a super tiny keyboard to type on, like, but yeah, it will work. You can add events on your own, but not like, but it's not easy. It doesn't sync up. So again, everything is just swiping gestures. Alarm clock is, you can add an alarm clock, and this should be pretty easy. There's no keyboard involved once it's done. So let's see according to this what the time is right now, and we'll add an alarm and see what. So it's 22:38. Let's add it for 22:40. Go and just add. Yeah, and we'll see when it rings. So then you have the calculator. You can type stuff. Now funnily, on my watch, because it's a circular screen, the calculator cuts off, and it's not super usable, because like the equal to sign is non-existent almost. So let's see if I can get my watch there. Yeah, so if you can see the equal to sign there, it's so Whoa, whoa. There you go. So the equal to sign is just cut off. I don't know why it's like not staying on for a while, but yeah, the equal to sign is cut off. Couple more things are cut off up top, but apart from that, I mean, yeah, it works on a square watch. Square face watch is just fine. So yeah, there we have our nice little alarm just ringing, and we can snooze it. So we snoozed it. Good. Let's go back. Calculator. Where was I? All right, calculator is done. It's done, and we can move on. Music. Yeah. So the AsteroidOS has a sync app that you can use, and of course, if you don't, like me, I don't have Bluetooth enabled. Yeah, it doesn't work without Bluetooth. So yeah, I mean, same with the emulator, I guess. With the music app, with the settings app, here we go. Let's go back to settings in a bit, and look at other things. Stopwatch, so your generic timer stopwatch kind of thing. I don't know how you started. There used to be a button here to start it. There we go. It just glitched for a second. I don't know why, but it is glitching pretty bad. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Wait, what? What? It is glitching. Wow. Alright. 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 Nope, that probably just crashed or something. I don't know what I did. I mean, I didn't do anything. The timer app crashed and made the whole UI crash. Well, there you go. Alright, so let's start it again, but I'll do it with the new image. So let me open Nautilus here, and I can just drag and drop this. So, yeah, okay, whatever. So there we go. We now have a new. So now you guys will get to see a newer oh, why is Nautilus acting like that? Okay, CD asteroid. So you'll get to see a fresh start here. See, systemd startup. Ever thought you would be running systemd on your watch? I guess not. But yeah, so this is how a fresh watch startups. Liam Gale. Sorry to butcher your name for a second right there, but yeah, watch OS being emulated, it's pretty crazy, and it's like stock GNU Linux, and I'm pretty excited it works on my watch and the emulator. So the English section here, section language, just click next. Set the time, but it's not synced to my. That bothers me. It's not synced to my system time. See, it's 4:13 a.m. Yes, I'm awake at 4 a.m. for some reason. I don't know why. 4:13. Where you go? There we go. And that's the correct date. Nope. That's the correct date. There we go. Welcome to this is Asteroid OS. So in case you didn't already know by the title of this video, but anyways, so this will just go through like gestures that I just went through, but you know, why not? This is how the new watch setup looks like. So the quick settings and the apps are down here, and now it will tell you to add an agenda or an alarm. Hey, enjoy. There we go. Alright, so I will not attempt to go into the stopwatch. Let's leave that. Timer, pretty similar. You can add your time, and then just let's set a timer for 1 minute and go, and we'll see how that responds. weather again needs to be connected and synced to a Android or Android app. So you can see how I really like the live wallpaper here. Just changes color depending on what app you are. So if you like move through the apps quickly, it's like it changes spectrum. Pretty neat. And we will go through the reason I'm saving the settings bit for the last, because I want to go through all the watch faces, not all of them, but yeah, some of my favorites. Anyways, settings here. Time is, you can set time, but I don't know why I cannot click it. You can set the date, that's fine. The language, Bluetooth connection, brightness. Of course, I don't think it will work with the emulator. Of course not, it doesn't. But fairly, surprisingly enough, it works on my watch. You can change units to, I don't know. I don't. Yeah, I mean it makes sense. They don't have any app to do with metric or imperial units, so they just have Fahrenheit and Celsius, and the 12-hour format or 24-hour format, which is just as fine. So it has a good enough USB modes, and it's pretty surprising how that works. I think we'll go into it with the real watch as well. So you have a charging only mode, you have a ADB mode, so it acts like a Android debugger, an Android device, although it's not. And then you have a developer mode. What this does is sort of makes a watch into a network interface for your system, using USB, like a USB NIC or a USB to Ethernet dongle. And what it does is it simply just goes ahead and kind of allows you to SSH directly, so like ADB but a bit more versatile. And then MTP is just the media transfer protocol, so that's the normal one. So yeah, the USB mode is also fairly interesting. About just shows you the AsteroidOS 1.0. I really would like to see the AsteroidOS 1.0 also display like kernel version and a bunch of things more like the Android OS does, but this is what we have. Alright, let's go to wallpapers. So this is the stock wallpaper that's running on the background, and did it just crash? Yes, it did. That's sad because I wanted to show off wallpapers, but it just crashed. Alright, once more. Yes, now it works. Yay! I can now. I'm just using scroll like a lazy person to scroll through the images, but in reality, we'll just go through them by swiping up and down, of course. So yeah, a good set of wallpaper here. Let's check out something that has a bright background. Now this is the one I like the most when I was playing on my watch, this one. And once that's selected, just go out. You can see it's not changed right now, but once you go to the main page, it changes. And I just realized that the screen is cutting out. There you go, sorry about that. But once you are back in, we can hopefully, nope, yep, there we go, back into the settings. Let's go through watch faces. There are some very interesting ones. So this is the regular ones that I mean it's fine, you know how it would look like this one. And wait, where it is, there you go. And this is also pretty good, just for the kind of text they use here. And if we move forward into the other watch faces, this is also cool, I think, because of the moving arm thing. Again, it's doing the same crash again, and I think this is because it's using the virtual GL thing and it's crashing. I'm not going to go into the crash and the reason why it crashed right now on live stream. That could take a while, but let's see. In the meantime, while it boots, just ask me questions in the chat if you have any. Wow, what happened? Oh, did it just like permanently do something bad? It's not booting now. Holy shit. Huh. It did. Alright, I think I need to reset it. Will this work? Cancel. I don't want to write it to a place. Alright, let me do it off screen. This should reset it and minimize. Oh, it's copying up top. Oh, it's done. Ah. Alright, let's run from the beginning now. Alright, I'll need to go through this. I'm just not giving a crap about anything. Oh, so what I think could have happened is we had that timer on, and that timer could have just messed things up or just at the wrong time. I mean, although this OS does have a proper version 1.0, I'm someone who still expects some bugs to be in there, if not like deal breaking bugs, but still some bugs nevertheless. So let's go back to settings and add a different wallpaper. Where is it? This one. And then let's try to get back to the exact same watch face and see if it does that again. It did. That's interesting. Very interesting. So it did, and I'm not sure why. Okay. Oh, it did it again, man. Oh, what was the name of the asteroid image? QEMO-8664 and why is this taking a while? Yeah, let's try it again. That's a bummer. So let's not try that watch face. Let me quickly just try it on my actual watch, like a real hardware, not QEMO. And if I go into watch face and select that exact watch face, where is it? There we go. It works. Like it works on an actual hardware. So let me actually let me set this up quickly. Yeah. Whoa, where is it? See, actually, can you? Nope. Yeah, the camera is pretty bad for like. Yeah, there you go. So that's the watch face, and it works for me on an actual hardware. And it's just something that crashes on the emulation, but nevertheless I really wanted to kind of I hope the one that I really want to show doesn't crash now. Let's go through some more. Settings, wallpapers, like the one that I had before. Is it this one? Go back. Watch face. Skip this one because this is pretty bad. This is the one that shows kind of, with a kind of a style sense. I don't know what you would say, but yeah, it's there. It works. I think it changes color. I'm not pretty sure. It definitely does. I can see it getting darker, but yeah, and the screen is still again cutting off. So we'll get that back here. Alright, so someone asked which Linux OS do you use there. Are you talking about the emulation? That's the Asteroid OS for the watch, and for like my main Linux distribution that I'm recording this on, it's Fedora 28, like stock Fedora 28, nothing else. Right. So let's try a newer watch face, a different watch face. They're all new. This is the one that I currently had on my watch. And gives you like seconds, minutes, and hours ring, and then also a digital display. It just looked nice. I don't care about the ring. This is my favorite one, and it crashed. No. All right, let's try. That's sad. Yeah. I really wanted to show that. If it crashes again, I'll go on the real hardware. So I guess the QEMU port is not really. I mean, it is a nightly build, but it's not really stable. Fucking hell! Get out! Get out! Now there should have been a way to skip this. Now I think in hindsight, but. Alright, let's try this one more time without changing the wallpaper, just the new wait, what? Yeah. Ah, crashed again. Alright, let's ditch that. Let's see if I can just, woo, hey, there's my face, big old face. Alright, let's go and see how that works. I do want everything to be all stable and good and shit. Okay, let's put that on. So that's one watch face that crashed. Oh, it's all blurry, man. That's bad. That's so bad. Alright, so I'll just quickly add the watch face that didn't crash. And this is my favorite watch face. See how it looks? I mean, it just masks the background and leaves the area that's kind of like supposed to show the time. I'm just trying to block as much light as possible so I can get some exposure on this. The camera is not too good, but again, I didn't think I would have like had to do this, but apparently I did, and the emulator just crashes over and over again, which is pretty bad. Let's put my face back there. Okay, is there anything else on the AsteroidOS side of things that I needed to show? I don't think so. So we are at the top of the hour, top of the half an hour mark, which, I mean, I don't really want, there's nothing more that on the OS side of things that I want to show specifically. Yes, we did need to go into the actual hardware. Yes, let's do that. Let's SSH into the actual hardware, which is nice. Always nice. I'll take the guidance of the. Alright. Let's do it properly. Then close this. We don't need this. CCC. So this is the log for my main system. And I'll show you something interesting. As soon as I add my watch, like to my PC, well, not right now. Why it didn't really react? Maybe it didn't connect. Just a second. Let me check. So it's on developer mode, but it's not connected because the connections on my watch are pretty bad because they didn't really design it all that well. Oh, and now you can see it just enumerates with the USB 0 link, and I really need to hold my watch down and if I let it go, it just goes away. Alright, so I'll keep my watch down, not touch it or anything, and we'll see if config, and now here you can see this is our watch in developer mode. Let's see if I can find my older command. There we go. So Sirius is like the default user in them, and I can just connect it with that, and you can see I have SSH'd into my watch. Things you thought you never heard about SSH, secure shell into your watch. Pretty weird, but pretty awesome. All right, let's do a uname a. So this is the default Linux kernel that comes with it. So it's using libhybris to convert all those calls to GNU compatible one, so that the driver and all works. So what? So at proc CPU info, and you can see it's the Qualcomm Ware 2100. So it's a quad core CPU with 1.2 gigahertz max, but it's like always on demand or power saving, so it barely ever reaches that. Top command would give you a bunch of other things. So yeah, I mean your usual systemd. Something, I mean, it's not your usual, you don't see your watch running systemd, but yeah, it's pretty awesome. And you don't see your watch running Qt components, say to Qt5. That's like the whole interface is built on that, which is pretty cool. If we get out of there, what else can I show you all? I mean, there's not a whole lot. There's a vendor partition, or so the firmware and everything stays in there, and that's what's like sort of happening with the Bluetooth. It's not available there. So there was EWS supplicant on there, but there is like no WLAN 0, so I can do IP or like ifconfig. There's no WLAN 0 there. Although they say it works, I haven't tried it. So ipconfig, this is the interface that's connected to my PC from the watches side of things, and this is the internal local host one. So what else? I was supposed to show you one thing more. Yeah, D-message on a watch. I mean, I guess you can do it on an Android Wear watch, but what I really am interested in, WLAN 0 interface. Wait, it did? No. So alright, so I guess I don't know what this is, because I wasn't able to see this before. Apparently there is. Interesting. Alright, so I mean, this is about it, what I've experimented with the Asteroid Watch OS so far, and I sort of I'm wanting to keep running the Asteroid OS on my watch for a while, because it like super improves on the battery life, and pretty much hits all the check mark for me, apart from Bluetooth support. So sooner or later, if that doesn't get added in, I will have to switch back to Android Wear, or like get a watch that supports Asteroid OS. Alright, so the next cool trick that Asteroid OS has, I mean, I did talk about it in the previous video, is that it has the ability to live boot. So the way I have my watch set up so that I don't have to flash things over and over again is, there's a way that you can copy your ext4, your rootfs onto your SD card. So not flash it, like literally copy the file, and then using fastboot, just temporarily boot the kernel and like the boot partition with the DTB and the kernel and everything else um, on the RAM, like literally boot it directly on the RAM and not have it flash the actual boot partition. So that when you use that with Fastboot, it's actually set up to search for this particular file, which is the Asteroid image swift.ext4, and then load that as rootfs. So it's basically live booting, but the only issue here is that you don't have grub or anything. So you actually need, every time you need to reboot to AsteroidOS, you need to have your watch connected to a laptop or a computer that has ADB there, and then you can like boot it. Otherwise, if I reboot it, it will just boot into what's it's called, Android OS, Android. So I really want to demonstrate this now, although I've talked about this. So let's see how much we can do. Sorry about that for people who are wearing headphones. There's my watch. There it is, standing there. Whoa, be with me. So it will not stay. It's like pretty bad. There's the watch. Alright, so I think this is a pretty good, slightly out of focus, but it's okay, I hope. Just let me know if it's a bit too out of focus, but I think it's okay at this point ish, okay ish. And it's connected, so let me just go and, oh come on, let me just go and add it to ADB mode, and we'll see how it goes from there. Let me just give the wire a bit of a slack. There we go. So if I go ahead, open that up, go into settings. I mean, you cannot see it, of course, it says it's charging. Go into USB. Where is it? There it is. And select ADB instead of developer, which I showed in the emulator earlier. It now goes into ADB mode. Now I can go to the terminal and do and put the watch away for a bit, right? So you guys can see the terminal right there. So exit. Oh yeah, I forgot to close the forgot to close the SSH session, whatever. So sudo adb devices, and you can see the watch not listed here, surprisingly enough. Oh, if I turn it on, maybe it will come back, who knows. That's not good. It was supposed to be connected, come on. It's not, surprisingly not, although it says ADB mode is on. Okay. Yeah, so let's just reboot it into Android and show you guys what I mean by like live rebooting it, live booting it. Yeah, that's one way to do it. So I can go into and power it off and just select power off. That's your logo for AsteroidOS. Make the screen a little bit bigger. Power it back on and it will boot into AndroidOS. So just for a second there we go, ACES, and that's like the bootloader unlocked warning there. Man, I just wish it was all in focus. How far does it have to be in focus? Apparently, yeah, it's like exposure and focus and everything's off. Now my camera's not like, whoa, what just happened? Now I'm sitting here. I mean, of course, I do encourage everyone to ask questions in the chat. Go on. Don't make this like an awkward long time. Ask questions so I can answer them. Whether it is booting Android, we'll wait for a second for it to come on. Still booting. Takes a surprisingly long time to boot for an OS that's supposed to be light and run on small hardwares. Still booting. So I mean, this is what happens in the live stream. If I would have like recorded this video, it would have straight off gone like into editing, and I wouldn't have all of this here. But anyways, live videos have it their own thing. So yeah, that's the Android OS side of things. See, I mean, it's like it's so laggy, it's like super laggy, and that's why I really want to keep the Wear OS alive. I connected it in, it's on, and now ADB should work. Whoa, there we go. Alright, so time to go back to Wear OS. There we go. So ADB Reboot, what was it, Fastboot or Bootloader? Let me check. Adb Reboot Bootloader. So this will reboot it to the Fastboot mode, right? So if you cannot see up top right there, it says Fastboot mode, and there is a way to get into the recovery. I'm not really sure. I'm not going to attempt it right now. And then what we'll be doing is go to the Zen Watch folder, Zen Watch 4, and then Asteroid, and that should be it. And show you the files. Those are the files, and then just use fastboot boot command to like boot into it. So sudo fastboot boot, and then boot the boot partition. So that. Alright, I'm going to press enter and make the watch screen a little bit bigger. Whoa, not what I meant to do. Little bit bigger. Alright, it's boot. Oh, did I spell that? Sudo. Oh. Waiting for device? That doesn't sound right. That does not sound right. Sudo fastboot. None. Wow. Alright, this is weird because the connectors on this watch are so incredibly well made, and here my sarcasm here. There we go. Alright, let's see. Alright, finished. So now the watch should actually be booting into Asteroid OS in a bit. It takes a, it stays on the screen for a while and then just suddenly boots into Asteroid. There we go. That's now booted into Asteroid. So that's live boot right there. And if I reboot it again as I did before, it's going to go straight into Android. So I think that's pretty neat, so that I don't have to like completely reflash each OS every time I want to work. I can keep both OS and like dual sort of dual boot, or so it's funny. It's like it's dual booting the root FS side of things, but live booting the kernel or the boot partition, which is pretty nice, I guess. Alright, so I'm pretty much done. I don't have anything on my list to show off the Asteroid OS, and 45 minutes is more than enough, I think. So I think there are 5 people on the call. Any questions I'm willing to take, just add it in the chat. And what else? I'll just fiddle through the watch OS emulator and not talk until unless someone asks a specific question. So let's see how that works. I'm not sure a lot of people are going to ask. So. Alright, show ends with the timer, I guess. Five, four, three, two, one. Cool. Alright, thank you everyone for watching, and hope to do another live one soon. Bye.